fact that he has that question mark thing going on with the IO. Just constantly spams it out. Very, very annoying, I'm sure, for the enemy. There's Arfu. A nice little attempt there from Yopaj with the sleight of fist, but yeah, Arfu, he'll give him the tip. It was a good attempt.
Yeah. At least putting his body forward to try to get that advantage. Still even start for both sides. You see the mid lane split out. Yopaj again on his Ember up against Moon on Lina. So we're seeing Moon on a much more standard mid, right? In the past few days, we've seen him. Obviously, he's played a lot of Kotl. We've seen him play Riki mids a lot. We've seen him play Sniper mid a couple of times. Lina's a lot more standard, and the lane matchup for him up against Yopaj is also fairly even. You have great wave clear on both sides. You have better right-click harassment coming through from Moon because he's range, but Yopaj does have the early level and sleight of fist, so he can kind of dodge out those spells, kind of just look for the right-click harassment himself, and it is some pretty good damage early on. That means Moon can't leverage his early level of range advantage all too much, but overall, I think what we're looking for here is, again, we normally look out for off-free rotations. He's not on a Shaker, though. And on a Shadow Demon, you could try to set up with a Disruption, but I don't really expect it, considering that you get much more value in just trying to get stacks up in the jungle here.
No, absolutely. It does feel like it's going to be a little bit of a difficult matchup here for Yopaj on the Embers. You can see the harassment start to fly in from Moon, but another return changes out. Yopaj will get one tower hit onto Moon. Have a look at the top lane while we're at it. CTM there on the IO. He's there along with his position 1, which is going to be Palos on the Gyrocopter, of course, with KP and Arfu against them. And KP, obviously kind of famous for being very good with these kind of micro heroes, and the Beastmaster, I'd say one of his better heroes here for the side of SMG. How do you think this lane pans out, John? Is there any timings we're looking out for?
Yeah, you just kind of want to hit this level 4 spike on KP. That's when you get the level 2 boars up. It feels a lot better with, well, at least level 2 boars for the ore, and it's really easy to harass out. You see SMG at least starting to find that aggression in the bot lane. Managed to get Tims out, and it's not the easiest combination. Legion Commander plus Monkey King, it just doesn't have that much presence early on. That does take levels as well. But you can start to kind of just apply that pressure on SMG's side. You have that stun setup with Lucent Beam.
Oh, nice trick.
They even get the tree chop.
Yeah, they quell it. Tims already having a pretty rough time here, as he will die a second time. And you know what that means, John? Walk of shame down back to the bot lane for Tims. And I suppose it's more like the jump of shame, considering he is going to jump through the tree line to get here. But definitely a great start, at least for the safe lane of SMG.
Yeah, it does look like SMG's figured out what exactly Tims tries to do in the laning phase when he plays this Monkey King. They're getting the punishment off. They're off to a great start for mid 1. He's up there in CS 10-6. Now, not that much high, but he is, you know, on a better start than he usually is. And FBZ's off to a very slow start in Legion Commander. Only at 5-2, you saw him get the tip out as well. You need to build momentum from that Monkey. You want to be able to get that scouting potential out. The last time we saw Tims play this hero, he had just about as much farm as FBZ, and he had more experience than FBZ. It doesn't look like he's kind of set for that here from this early game.
Certainly not quite yet anyway. These Tims might find a courier. Eventually will Primal spring through the tree line. He's managed to pick it up, so mid 1. Lose that courier early on, but he got the items off it anyway, so he won't be too concerned. It's down for about 1 minute and 10. There's our mid lane going. Oh, you are seeing Moon pulling ahead now in terms of CS. 21-6 in comparison to the 18-2. Though again, I would kind of expect that, considering it's the Lina versus Ember matchup. Yopaj, he can't stick around too long in this laning stage, as the right-click damage is going to start adding up. And you can see Moon already trying to bully Yopaj out of this bot power rune spot. Or rather, water rune spot, and Moon does manage to pick it up. Arfu will take the other, so CTM unable to secure the other water rune there for Yopaj. And it is going to mean the Ember is forced to salve up rather than going to the bottle.
Yeah, and that's just going to keep Yopaj at a slower pace. I think this slight level advantage is going to really help out Moon. He's going to hit level 6 a bit quicker. He's going to line up for the Laguna kill and just play from there.
Oh, FBZ bot lane ends up dropping here to Rogi. Rogi doing a fantastic job thus far on the POS 5 Bloodseeker. 2-0-1. And with that passive again, he's just able to chase you down if you get low enough. Tims, well, they know he's in the tree line somewhere on the right side, but with so far, Tim's has just not had the impact on the support Monkey King.
Just not been coming true, and the one good thing for Boom here is that they are keeping mid 1 CS in check, so they have managed to make it so that mid 1 isn't last hitting creeps as much as Palos is. The Gyrocopter is still finding that initial farm, and that is something that you can play with, but given this kind of early start and not having that runaway start for Tims can set them back. We're not even dealing with the Beastmaster Hawk scouting Tims around yet. Once that factors in, just the information game for Tims is not going to be as easy to pull off as it was before. They've got the tools on SMG to track down the Monkey and keep his impact minimal.
Yeah, not to mention, he's laning against the Monkey King expert at mid 1. The mid 1's going to know pretty much exactly what Tims is up to. He knows all the tricks with the Monkey King. Going to be very well aware of what Tims will try to do to win out this lane, and well, even now they might spot him out again. Rogi gonna get straight to work. Blood right there. Tims, he's in trouble, and the Blood right is gonna land. In fact, Rogi, I thought he may have given the kill away to mid 1, but he will take it, and Tims, he's gonna get tipped mid 1. He's getting excited now as this safe lane, it couldn't have gone any better for SMG.
Yeah, it's pretty much the perfect start. The only thing they're lacking is really just more creeps for mid 1, as there's still a bit of disparity with our Luna and our Gyrocopter in terms of CS, although that could be down to the fact that Palos is already clearing out maybe a couple of stacks in jungle. So he has that jungle start already, but it is still a really good start for SMG 4-0, 1k lead their way. They're finding that initial momentum they need. They're finding a foothold in the game. And for Boom, they're going to have to kind of hold back. There's going to be a huge aggressive spike once KP has his full Dominator up, and it's almost up. It's going to be able to really shove in the waves, look for a push opportunity, and maybe drag some heroes up there.
They're going to try and pressure him, but there's no damage. They'll get the balls at least, so nice bit of golden XP to go the way of Palos. And I believe they did force a TP to be used up from somebody on the side of SMG, but that's about all they got. Tim's still scouting out KP. Maybe they could try to go back in, but it doesn't feel like they have enough Disable right now to really lock him down, unless maybe with the Primal Spring slow, it could be enough, but no. KP, he'll just commit the Roar. Tims, he won't even bother trying to throw the Boundless Strike out. And I suppose on the bright side, you force out the Roar usage early on and it gets nothing done, but I think KP's happy with that. All he wants to do is hit his timings with these items.
He just wants to hit the Dominator, wants to hit that Healthy Overlord. With the Dominator up, they're going to be able to push once more. And that's really the key timing. It's already up. He's got the Tomato Creep up. You can just look to pressure the lane. They're already getting some good aggression down. Bot still keeping FBZ locked in. They can't have the Legion Commander run around anywhere. A level behind mid 1 now. Literally a full level behind. Nowhere near the duel. They have no way of playing around this off lane. And all they can really hope for is they get enough on Yopaj mid.
Mid lane, stuns out Tims. He's been caught again. This time, the kill will go the way of Moon on the Lina. More bad news for BOOM.Esports. It's a 5-0 lead here for SMG. And now an aggressive smoke up. Moon and Arfu going to start moving in through that dire jungle. See if they can spot out where the Gyro IO are hanging out. Palos and CTM, they're going to back off at the right time. Back towards that top lane. Tims will join in KP. He'll be targeted, and this time he doesn't have the Roar up. Homing Missile is going to land. KP, he is in a bit of a tough position here. He'll still try to find a way out, but I don't think there is going to be one. So eventually they'll just chase him down, but they don't have the damage. They don't have the damage, nor enough control, so KP just walks out. The Helm of the Dominator Creep still running around, just slowing everyone up. And now SMG, they've rotated. Palos, he'll be targeted. KP, he doesn't have enough mana for the Roar quite yet, but they will get the old school Warcraft 3 surround down. Still Boundless Strike out. Tims gonna try and trade KP. He does eventually go down, but it's a worthwhile trade for SMG.
Kill off the Gyro. Highest net worth target of Boom. Keeping Palos down for a little bit longer. Bouncing mid 1 up a little bit further on net worth as well. And that should open up a bit of a push now. You can start lining up for the shove in top. Beastmaster respawn isn't too far off. They could TP the numbers here from Boom, but I think at this point you just want to get as much farm as possible on the Gyro. Kind of avoid fights as you try to build up on the rest of your heroes. Yopaj is not even ready to show up in any of these movements. You will smoke up though. Perhaps you will look for that angle up top for the defense.
Oh, Tims is having such a tough time here. Even the Shadow Demon just trying to scout out where Tims is in the tree line will force him out with the Shadow Poisons. And now, Yopaj, he's going to try and rotate and help this defense, but I'm not sure if it's even possible at the moment. He gets the dominated creep, but that's about all he's going to get. He'll be forced to run him back, but now Rogi, he'll get a rupture out onto CTM. CTM going to try and break as much distance as he can. Tims, he's around to try and help out. Relocate is there, but it's not going to be enough. He'll get him mid-channel as now Moon going to show up. Yopaj was trying to control up the Lina. In the end, is going to couple Laguna and is forced to walk away. Is SMG. They've hit a great timing now. They might even pressure this top tier 2 tower.
And they've got the auras coming through from the Beastmaster. They've got mid one with the right click as well, and the Lunar Blessing, so even more damage coming through. The Fortify will hold them back, not for too long. The side of Boom just don't have great team fight to bring in there. Outside of Call Down and Wukongs, they don't really have anything.
That interesting, John. He went max aura. No glaive points. That's...
He's not going farming. He's just looking to fight, playing with the Eclipse, looking to really buff up that push.
Eclipse out, KB, he's in big danger and might eventually drop, but he gets the roar in time. Can they actually finish off Yopaj though? It looks like they can. Tims, Wukong's command with the duel out from FBZ onto Rogi, but it won't be enough to actually finish off the Bloodseeker. The overall odds will be though. FBZ, he does get perched up. Mid one will move back in. Wukong's gonna expire, but it won't matter. In the end, FBZ should perhaps be safe, but no Arfu. He has so much damage with the max Shadow Poison out. And once again, Tims, he's unable to stick around in the Monkey King.
Like, he did have a lot of impact for the Wukongs that did manage to zone out SMG a bit. They don't find a big kill. And I'm really loving this mid one build. Like, the Lunar Blessing max out again. He's not focusing on playing this farming game. He is just looking to play with the auras, play with the Beastmaster, stick around that lane, look for the early push, and just stack the auras. Like, you've got Inner Beast and max Lunar Blessing. It's a lot of attack speed, a lot of damage that can really pump out. And they're just going to go for the mid-tier 1 first. Still no defense that Boom can play with. And with this lineup, they lack a huge amount of team fight. Basically just Wukongs and Call Down, and once those spells are down, they don't have presence in a 5v5, and even if they did try, they just have severe damage issues while waiting for the farm. So the slower pace of Boom being punished, they're still going to keep up that pressure in the tier 2 here from SMG.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about farm issues, John. Yopaj hasn't even got the Orb of Corrosion up yet. That's a pretty big issue, as we're 12.5 minutes in. Rogi is going to back off. I believe Orb of Corrosion is now flying out, and he does finally have it. That should help out with the damage just a little bit. And SMG, they're not backing off. They want to keep going with this. Roar's back up. They've got all the units they need. And Moon's there to back them up on the Lina. How do you defend? Rupture there, FBZ, he's not going to be able to go for a duel either. Rogi will just chase him down. In fact, Rogi, he might get the kill himself on the support Bloodseeker. Meanwhile, on the side, they've started another team fight. KP, he's going to drop mid one. He's in trouble. He'll try to man fight it, but eventually they do get the Lunar kill. And now the duel's out. FBZ, he will be able to get some duel victory as Yopaj gets a triple kill on the Ember. They lost the tier 2 tower, but they get a nice trade going for themselves.
Those are some much-needed kills for Boom as well. Like, they do manage to wrangle a bit of a lead their way, 9-6, less than 1k up. Their Gyrocopter still maintains the top position, and if you punish that Luna for going for this fighting build, because Glaives are still level 1, every single time mid one dies, he's not going to be catching up in gold. He's always going to be at a disadvantage. He can't catch up in the jungle, and I think that's key for Boom. If they just catch out the Luna over and over again, punish mid one for going for a fighting build with no protection up yet, no BKBs, no nothing, then the Luna will start to taper off a bit, and that's not something he can close out quickly.
Moon, cheeky little tumbler's toy there. Bounces his way out. Meanwhile, Tim's just keeping tabs on the Roshan, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, John, but I believe with this kind of aura build that mid one's gone for with the Beastmaster to boot, you have plenty of early Roshing potential if you wish to go for it.
Yeah, you certainly could try to go for a fast Rosh here if they do want to try. Boom does have some good wards watching the outside of the Rosh entrance. So they've got a rough idea if and when SMG decides to go in. They're going to have to commit a smoke for that if they want to make their way there, but it doesn't look like SMG's keen on it. They're just trying to work their side lanes, trying to buy some space for mid one to keep this farm game up. He is going into the BKB, so he understands if he wants to take a forward position in these engagements, he has to have that spell immunity. On the side of Boom, FBZ, Tims, they're smoked up. They do have the blink up on FBZ, so he could look for a quick duel and try to build up some damage now.
It doesn't seem like they know KP's around, though. Well, they know his units are around, but they don't actually know where the actual hero is. They are having a look through the tree line. Tims, he'll start jumping through and scouting out. KP, how good are your spidey senses here, sir? They may not be good enough. They're approaching. He has a TP available, but won't commit yet, as now the pings are out. They know exactly where he is, FBZ. He's been slowed up by the boars, and now the tree cut is there. Roar out as well. Relocate is flying in, but can they actually catch him? In fact, never mind, they've got a better target. Moon, he's in this, though. They don't know he's there on the Lena. Lagoon out, FBZ's going to get blown up, and it's onto Palos. They'd love a gyrocopter. They're not going to get him, though. Relocate back out from CTM. They'll leave Tims behind. And SMG... they are completely outplaying the side of Boom Esports in this game one.
They're just dancing around him. 16 minutes in, already on the high ground. Boom. Without that Wukong, it's a tough defense to ask for. Yopaj is going to really have to put in the work here.
They're going to try. Homing missile out. Eclipse. It's going to be popped from mid one. Palos. He cannot stand underneath that. He needs the back. They'll try to run him forward. Yopaj. He's onto the big carry and he does get him. FBZ. He'd love some dual damage right now, but he might just have to settle for the kill. In fact, never mind. They are going to wait. So get 3 kills for their trouble. SMG going way too far forward. Rogi, he might make it up, but I can't say the same for KP, who is going to get caught on the Beastmaster.
Yeah, and they find a punishment on Boom. They make it work, all off the back of Yopaj. He gets the jump in, he gets the slide off, gets a good chains, and it comes back to mid one not having BKB up yet. So he's trying to put his Luna forward to use his spells to get the damage off, but without the spell immunity, and that Luna is still very vulnerable. So it still needs some time to cook up. They overstepped their bounds on SMG, and Boom Esports manages to punish. They hold on to a rather even game, not even in map control, as with a tier 3 exposed, it can be a bit dicey in the top lane, but Netfort's not too far apart. Palos still takes the lead. You start to see Tims really jump around the map as we see him on the Monkey King, and he might have been cut down a couple of times in tree line. He's still getting some useful information for the team, giving them an idea of where it's safe to farm, of where they can kind of just focus on building up for the rest of their team, as Palos is taking the majority of their safe side of the map. He's just ensuring that FBZ can still farm somewhere, work towards that Blade Mail, works towards the Shard. On the side of SMG, as you mentioned, they could look for a Roshan play. They would still need to smoke, but they're just running in. That's under a ward.
That is underneath the ward, so Roshan, it's going to be started, but Boom Esports, they are well aware that this is happening, and they should have a decent amount of time to try and make their way over. Roshan, though, it's going down fast. Boom, they're slowly coming in. Roshan still dropping, however, and now the rupture out. Rogi, he'll hold them back. He might die for this, but it'll be well worth it, as they've got the Aegis up on mid one. And if it only costs you the Bloodseeker, it's well worth. However, Jules out. They have got mid one. Disruption will save for a little bit mid one. He will lose his first life, and now the Roar is out. KP trying to help, but they want the main carry. They want that main target, and they've got him. The big surround down. Mid one, he cannot run. And so Boom, they miss out on the Roshan, John, but you get 2 lives off mid one. You're more than happy.
Money to burn.
You're just keeping this Luna down and constantly stomping her down. Like, again, the BKB is still not there for mid one. So they wanted to have that second life ready. Ideally, use that Aegis with a BKB up. And they don't manage to hit that timing. They're going to go for a relocate play.
Yeah, KP now going to be in danger as the relocate is there. Yopaj able to set up the kill. And, you know, this is that point of the game where things might start getting a little bit scary for SMG. As it does feel like that timing that they were hitting, it may be kind of slowing down now. They haven't got any kind of high ground objective. And that 2k net worth lead is going to be a little bit concerning as FBZ is in. He got a duel out again onto mid one. They've got the lockdown and they've got the kill. Even more bad news for SMG.
he just respawned. Mid-1 just came back to life, tried to go back into the lane, maybe looking for a small camp in the jungle to clear out. Gets punished. And it just gives such a big opening for Boom. They find a mid-tier 2 tower. They even out map control for the most part. They've got the lane exposed they could look for on the high ground now if they want to, but they're going to play it safe, take control of the triangle, possibly look for the top tier 1. And for SMG, this goes back to that decision to go for max Lucent Beam and Blessing without the glaives. The moment the fight stopped working, they couldn't catch up and farm.
Tim's ends up getting dropped here. Fu able to take the kill, but I do agree with the sentiment, John. I mean, the aura build, you kind of see what they were trying to do, and it was very strong for the first 15 to 20 minutes. But now, well, mid-1, his farm isn't exactly anything to write home about. In comparison to Palos as well, who's just escalated so darn far in the gyrocopter. It's going to be very hard to deal with him. Rupture out, though. They've got it onto the gyro. Call down is there to zone them out. And can you actually capitalize off this rupture? They're going to try now. Purge is there, but CTM, he's right behind with the mech out, with the relocate. They're going to pop everything on him. But Palos, he is not dying. And meanwhile, FBZ, he's caught Moon with the duel out. They are still trying onto Palos, and they do eventually get the kill. As CTM, he was unable to relocate him out in time. And Yopaj, trapped in the forest, is going to try and run down south, but Moon is there with the light strike array. They should have enough control, but no. Remnants back the other way. Do they have the damage and control this time? Disruption out. Rogi in with the blood right, but a great sleight of fist. Yopaj going to try and play games. He turns around with the fake grenade. It's a bit risky, Yopaj.
They managed to punish Yopaj. I love that small play. You know, I appreciate him trying to get a little bit of damage off and some info off, but doesn't really do enough to hold back. And SMG does manage to find some punishment. You know, they get a couple of big kills. They start to open up the game a little bit more. There's still a lead on Boom's side, but they're showing us that it's not.
We'll see if SMG can keep up this aggression here. Still a 2k net worth deficit, but nothing that you can't come back from here for SMG. Is there another big power spike we're looking for here, John? For at least for SMG, like, can they? I suppose maybe when mid-1 gets some more farm up with the glaives, perhaps we could kind of expect another decent power spike up for this Luna.
Yeah, the BKB's almost done. That's going to protect mid-1 up front. You're starting to close out that level deficit, so the glaives will be maxed out sooner rather than later. And that's when you can start to really keep up pace with the gyrocopter. The BKB for mid-1's one. I think the Crystallis into Shard timing is going to be really important. You could possibly go for the Manta style as well. If you feel value in the stats, it's likely going to be SNY, Crystallis, Daedalus, Ag Shard. I think that's the build-up you want for the Luna in this case. You don't really need the self-purge on Manta in this game. So how long that takes is another question, but if you can get that build-up, that's when the Luna really starts to shine. Just the spam ability of the Lucent Beam with the glaives flying out. Sure, it was nerfed a couple of times. It's still really strong. And while mid-1 farms, you're also getting good farm on Moon. So the Lina can go for a right-click build as well. Go for the Silver Edge you mentioned in draft. Going to be a really great value item for the Lina and really just amp up her right-clicks. At that point, you're going to have two big hitters on the side of SMG. And for Boom, they kind of put all their eggs in one basket. It's only really Palos getting some good farm. Yopaj is still up there, but he's not getting as much. That's going to impact his item progression. It's really just going to be down to the gyrocopter to dish the damage out for the team.
And I think you made a really good point there as well, John. Like, Moon on this lane is probably going to be the almost the position 1 now for SMG. Like, you can see mid-1 catching up and transitioning, but I think the Lina is just that kind of massive range, just hard-hitting core that you want throughout that late game. And a lot of the time, he can just pump out more damage on this hero as Palos and CTM are going to back off at the right moment. Moon's still going to scout around with that Shadow Blade, but eventually won't go too far into the triangle. But now Yopaj has a pretty big power spike of his own with the Aghanim Scepter up. A lot of mobility now for the Ember. And boom, they're going to go for a big 5-man smoke here. Into the Radiant jungle of SMG. Like, never mind, they might go through the triangle instead. Who are they going to find? It's going to be Mr. KP if he does stick around. They should eventually catch him out as the Blink Jewel is in. FBZ's caught him. It'll be a nice pick up there for Boom Esports. Mid one. Maybe caught, but Bloodright is there. Tims, he will try to back himself out, but mid one going for a chase. Meanwhile, on the southern side, Rogi gets a nice rupture on Yopaj, but it won't amount to much as now the call down. Gonna land on mid one. Palos, he'll pop the BKB, keep moving forward, but eventually with the purge out, it'll mean he cannot continue the chase. And with the BKB down, Boom Esports, they may have to let this fight go, but it does seem like they want to keep going. Homing missile out, mid one. Stand back and relax. And in the end, Boom, they'll go for the outpost, but Moon, he's moving in again on that Lina. Light Striker Ray gonna land onto Palos CTM. He has the relocate up, but he won't commit quite yet. Laguna is there, but it's not enough damage to Yopaj now. Gonna move in. Great chains out, but there's your Eclipse now. Mid one. He's been jeweled up. FBZ's got him, but it's not gonna be the duel win for FBZ, but rather for mid one. They do also find Palos. Moon, he's gonna try and run. Yopaj, he'll clean up the back lines. Can they find the last piece of the puzzle? They'll get him. Moon goes down on the Lina, and eventually Boom Esports clean up.
It was a bit messy. I think the fight from Boom was a bit disjointed. They were taking two fights, basically one by the ramp, one by the jungle entrance south. They managed to make it work in the end, but it looked a bit rough to start with. The dual win going towards, I believe it did go to mid one, so we've got 20 bonus damage. Not something that will really change the tide of the game, but still something that is, you know, not something that's going to make Boom happy. But they win the fight. They take a huge swing their way. They did sacrifice Palos, but Yopaj is starting to build up. So this gives him the opportunity to catch up now on that Ember Spirit and really start to build up. He is second in net worth now, overtaking that Lina. They take the tier 2 tower bot. So they have complete control of the bot jungle. They've got the wards down here. They've got outpost control. And they are hitting their big spikes now. Like Yopaj, when he ags up, is just able to gap close really well, jump the back line, split up the fights along with Tims. And the mobility is coming into play. The mobility of the Monkey King, the ability to relocate in, the mobility of the Ember Spirit. It's a lot of things that SMG doesn't have the same mobility on hand. They have the information game with the Hawks, and they have really good push and auras, but they can't quite move at the same pace of Boom. It's very easy to divide and conquer here.
Another bit of a group up here in the mid lane. SMG seeing if they can find an easy pick-off, but nobody's going to show up apart from Yopaj, and he's certainly not an easy pick-off right now. And boy, that net worth swing after that team fight. Very concerning signs from SMG. You see even the win probability really just starting to dip the way of Boom Esports now. 83% their way. Again, mid one just behind in farm on the Luna. Moon kind of in the same boat at the moment as they are going to try and move in onto Tims. Yopaj is around. Chains will be out, and that'll be enough. Boom. Not going to overextend. They'll wait out their timings, and they're going to smoke up right after. Palos, CTM, I think they're trying to bait here in this mid lane. SMG, do they go for it? Mid one, he's going to be scouted. Do they want to jump the Luna first? Instead, they found CTM, but CTM, with the press the attack out from FBZ, is going to survive. Rogi, he'll keep the chase up, but Boundless Strike is there. Tims will lock him down, and now Palos will get to work. But there's your roar out. So the press the attack, it does make it tough as now Yopaj, he'll dive right in, takes himself a free kill, and just jumps right back out.
Still posturing around. Roshan is up. Boom, they're trying to sneak this in.
It's very hard though with the Hawks out from KP. You're always going to have that vision. And even without the Hawk, you've got the Shadow Poison there from Arfu. It's definitely a very hard Roshan to go for Boom Esports unless you wipe SMG. Because they will recognize the potential of the vision of SMG and they will back off to farming.
They have to respect that control. You know, we were talking about Tim's Monkey King, Mike. I want to go back to this. Look at Tim's, then look at FBZ. That level 18 Monkey King with a Basher Echo Saber. FBZ is basically almost a support Legion commander. Blink, Blade Mail, Phase. It's not bad, but Tim's has so much more form. How does he keep doing that?
I don't know, John. I'm really not sure. I've seen him farming the jungle quite a bit. I suppose maybe that's the difference, but it is certainly very intriguing. I guess it does work, though, to be fair. So the Monkey King, you don't mind him being able to hit hard, especially with that Wukong's command ability that he does have. It's Palos gonna get perched up. Let's get a homing missile out. Mid one gonna posture. They'll try onto CTM. Eclipse is there, but the press the attack gonna save us now. The jewel's out. Rogi, he's gonna get blown up, but they found CTM. Buybacks will fly out from the supports as they'll try to rejoin this team fight. Boundless is out. Tims, he will eventually drop it now. The Raw's there. They've got Palos, but no. Press the attack again, gonna purge off the stun. As long as FBZ's behind Palos, it's going to be very hard to kill him off. In the end, they will go for a reset back at the fountain. This Roshan just so important for either team right now. A lot of pressure for either side to be able to secure that Roshan.
They can't afford to give it away, not after all the buybacks were committed. And inside of Boom, still have really good control, but the Hawks are still making it really difficult to go in. They are under the sentry, I believe one of them is. The other one's right outside. They are not going to be able to clear out complete vision control, and SMG, they're smoked up.
They're going to they can't let it go, John. It's the shards up. Just a very important Roshan. Boom Esports going to keep applying that pressure in the Roshan pit. SMG, they'll posture aggressively. Not committing quite yet. Don't forget they are lacking the Eclipse there from mid one, so it is a fair bit of damage that's not going to be out from our Luna. Palos again going to be perched up. FBZ's there to heal him up though. Just so hard to finish him off, and meanwhile towards the north they have found Moon. They're going to move in anyway. There's a duel out, but Moon is going to be the one to win the duel. As now Palos, he's been roared up. You haven't got to press the attack anymore. He'll try to man fight, but mid one's there. He'll man fight back, and this time he'll win it out. Buyback is out, however. Palos and Moon making their way back in, but CTM and Rogi are both going to drop, and that'll be a dieback on the POS 5s. Roshan, it does still stand. Moon's going to move in, trying to force it. FBZ jumps in as well. The Aegis, it's going to go the way of KB. He does snatch on the Beastmaster. They'll lose Moon again, however. It's a dieback on the Lena. Can they keep this fight up? Eclipse is out. It's not enough though. Mid one, he's gone to boot. And KB, he was a hero for a second, but he might be right back down to 0, as it looks like they will surround, and Boom Esports, they've got him. Yopaj with the double, 4 down for the side of SMG. And sure, you lost the Roshan, but who the hell cares? You're going to find a hell of a lot of objectives here if you are the side of Boom Esports.
They even found a shard, Mike. Like, Tim's managed to steal the shard. He got the mischief.
Of course he did.
Yeah, he managed to steal it away. So you were mentioning how important that Roche was for the shard. Well, they lose the Aegis, sure. They got the shard and they take care of the Aegis anyway. You're in a really good position now for Boom. 8k lead. Sure, they were forced to buy back a lot, but it does pay off, and they should be able to take care of this last outer tower. SMG on the back foot now. That was their big turnaround. That was their opportunity to try to reel this game back, but they're still getting punished by Boom. Have to say, the build-up here on Palos, Mike, is it's different from what he usually does, right? We're used to seeing him go with Crystallis, Ags, BKB Satanic. He's skipping the Satanic entirely. He doesn't have a Crystallis as well, or Daedalus. He's just going for Scotty. So he just wants to slow. He wants to reduce the healing output as well, coming through from the side of SMG. Just go from there.
Oh, everything again being thrown out onto Palos. He's going to try with the TP, play with the BKB, but the Roar is there in time. They've got the Gyrocopter. This should be a great team fight. As FBZ, he's been locked down. Yopaj, though, he's godlike. He does find Rogi and apparently finds Arthur as well. Yopaj just cleaning up the supports while the rest distract, and now they can move on to KP. The Beastmaster, he's locked down. Can we get another Sleight of Fist down? You bet your ass we can. A triple kill for Yopaj. Back in onto Moon. Chains out. He'll force the BKB, but Tims, he's been caught in the forest. He'll go down. A 2-for-3 trade. On the bright side for SMG, though, they do get Palos down.
Yeah, they get Palos. They hold the high ground there as well, so they don't take too much damage. Well, I say that on the tier 3, but they still hold on to that tier 3. And they get some good item spikes while holding off there as well. They get the Ags up on their Shadow Demon, so Demonic Purge has the charges up. They can just constantly kite around that Gyrocopter, and it looks a bit ridiculous throwing all your spells into one hero, but it does stop the gyro from having presence at all. Like, he's just not able to stand and fight. He can't pull himself back. They have to rely on the relocate if they want to bail Palos out, and sometimes it's just not the right time for it from CTM. And also managed to get enough farm for mid 1 to hit that Daedalus timing. So he's got the Daedalus and the Ag Shard. It's going to be bouncing around a lot of damage. He's working on the Satanic next. And the Luna is getting sort of a second shot at life here. It's starting to hit its power spike. We talked about the difference with Gyro Luna. It does take that time for a Luna to hit as hard as the Gyro, but we're at that point. You're not too far behind from Palos. You're like 2,000 gold behind. Not the biggest difference. And that's still completely playable for mid 1. Boom now. I think they're going to have to start shifting towards Yopaj a bit more. Like, give him some room to get more damage items up. He's doing great work. It's still not quite enough to take on, say, the Luna by himself, or, you know, when the rest of his team's already gone. He is working towards the Shivas next for more slows coming through, and combine that with a Scotty that will come through from Palos, and it is finished up. The slows are stacking up, so there's some control coming through from Boom. They just need to be able to execute on those items now.
But they do. I think it's another pretty big spike here for Boom Esports now. We'll see when they do group up and go for a big smoke, as I think it's coming right now. Everyone heading down to the bot lane. No, they might even just try to force high ground. You've basically got every spell up. Refresher Orb also available on Yopaj, so he's got 10 remnants available. No problems with that. Level 26 on the Ember. SMG going for that classic play, pushing out the other side lane and trying to force the return back. However, Moon, he has been caught by himself. Oh, that is a big loss. No buyback on Moon. That's going to be a problem for this high ground.
Yeah, they're trying to keep that push going bot. They should be able to find that tier 3. Yopaj is around to defend. But Boom are going to go for their own trade down bot as well. And the wave clear from Yopaj, it's a bit slow going, but they are actually going to be able to find that top set of racks here.
That they are. Pretty decent trade, but now Yopaj will jump in. A little bit of a cheeky remnant back and forth. He'll go in onto Rogi, refreshes. Look at the damage output. Yopaj, he just cleans them all up. Moon, he's still rather mid 1 is stuck in the middle of the Wukong's command. Oh, goodness me, Yopaj. He just shreds through him. As bot lane, mid 1, he's the only one left. They're going to buy back on KP to try and force out Palos. The Roar is going to be there, but where's your follow-up? It's not out. The Roar does nothing.
Ooh, it's a racks advantage for SMG though. Like, even with the forced buyback, with the losses they took, they are 1 racks up. Issue is Boom still has their heroes up, so they can just run back mid, shove out a creep wave, look for the push bot, maybe go for more even as Yopaj jumps in.
Yeah, remnants forward. KP just bought back, and he's right back to the grave. Here come the tips out. Yopaj. He's giving him a lesson, all right. Into the T3 tower they go. 22, 2, and 10 is the scoreline for our Ember. He does get another chains out onto the Bloodseeker, and it looks like Rogi is going down. Another kill for the Embers now. Jewel out. Who have they got? It's going to be Moon. He's got no buyback. And now they found mid 1. Another dieback out for the side of SMG. They've got 2 heroes left. But it's a 2v5 scenario. And Boom Esports, they may just be able to put a lid on this game number 1 of the grand final. So I highly doubt SMG can really defend this.
They're going to go for those tier 4s now. With just 2 heroes to defend, with your 2 supports, they're not going to be able to do enough. The respawns here are just a bit too long, and they might even find them.
Yeah, why the hell not? You end up finding that Shadow Demon, but it's into the fountain. Yopaj, he wants all of them. Rogi, be careful, sir. That's not your home anymore. Look at this.
Oh,
Look at
God.
This. Oh, it's the Japoi show, John. It's the Japoi show. Game 1 of this really best of 5. Well, what can you say? You go on. Give me the